systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm in for Nades. Nades is in for me tomorrow. We got 12 games to talk about, though. Absolutely no time to waste. Hey, let's hope the spend-up pitching maybe does a little better than, 2 points, 3 points, whatever the heck Eovaldi, Crochet, Yamamoto could put up yesterday. You don't want to spend up at pitching, though? You got a couple options down below. Excited to talk some baseball with my man Gyiraszin. Before I throw it to Gyiraszin, got to say hi to Little Neck, Michael W., Rodney, JM, LSU for Life, Sean Sullivan, YSN, Jason Turner, Big Ed, Juice, Gator Nation. Good to see you. Brewers keep getting the job done indeed. Gyiraszin, nice shirt. How we doing today on this fine Tuesday afternoon?
I'm doing good. It's weather's nice. Got back from a fun weekend I had. We went to mid-Michigan, the wife and I, and we tubed down the Rifle River for a couple days. So got to suck up some sun, some juice, some booze, and some, I had an interesting drink, though. I got to tell you about. I was so impressed. It was Screwball with strawberry Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
Screwball whiskey, peanut butter whiskey with strawberry. They were calling it peanut butter and jelly. I was like, that's pretty good. That
was the hangover.
Good. You know what? I don't generally get hungover that much, but I'm smart enough to know when I'm boozing it up. You got to drink some water in between. Yes. You can't be a donkey. That's like donkey. I've done that enough. If you drink water, then generally you're good. You got to get up and pee a couple times, but you're fine. But my shirt here, I got the safety meeting shirt. We need to have those, with some SHIPIT Nation on there, a little safety meeting for the crew. But a lot of fun over the weekend. Hey, we were hot. Last time I was on the show with you, I put one bullet in the monster over there on FanDuel, came in 6. I literally needed 10 points or something from I had 3 dudes that literally got me 3 points or less. It was Langoliers, Machado, and somebody else. And I remember even saying, dude, wow, you came up that high with that many duds. And yeah, I had the other top 5 pimps in the whole slate. But I was and that's one I didn't really watch thoroughly. And I'm sure if I did, I probably have been really flustered as those at-bats winded down. Somebody hit me get on base and steal me a damn bag. Get me in some money here. But still, hey, it's always fun waking up to some cheese in your account. But been hot lately. We were saying shit, you're casting 4 days, 5 days out of a week for tournaments, only playing 2 teams or 1 team every day. It does help your bankroll a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. That's why Gyiraszin, without even knowing, is holding that whole stack of cash in his right hand. Just keeps coming to him. It's just so natural for him.
Rolls over.
Yeah, Gyiraszin absolutely been money. He's on the slate plan today. The core reports will be up after the show. I mean, it's a monster slate. It's a tough one. I'll say hi to a couple more people, of course, as people are filing in. The one weather concern we have, I guess 2. One mainly, though, yellow-orange is Detroit and the White Sox. This got delayed really late in the game yesterday. Ross says, though, because Flaherty's on the mound, who I definitely think is a pitcher worth mentioning on this slate, or at least you have to consider. Atlanta Storms fire up around Chicago in the evening. Current best guess is late start and play, but we will reevaluate, but he's optimistic of the timing. That's what I love to see. Yellow-orange, so I'm already not too concerned about it. And then a late start and or rain coming in later in the game. I just want this. I want Flaherty to play when we get into pitching. So right now I see no concerns playing Jack Flaherty. Any offense on the slate. The only other game is yellow. That is the Rockies and the Cardinals. So weather-wise today, all 12 I'm expecting to play. We did get news right before this. Appreciate it, Ross. Ben Brown out. Javier Assad is starting. I will refresh, and I think SaberSim will have that taken care of. So good call there. Who else have we? I stunk too. My starting pitchers didn't get the job done. Chalk pitcher never gets there. It has been tough. This is an interesting point. There's definitely like when Austin Barnes always caught for Kershaw and like not Will Smith stuff. I don't take into consideration too much when we're talking pitching. I think like the K props, the implied runs for the other team, everything is baked in. But I mean, there's no doubt some catchers are much better at framing the ball. Some catchers, if they call the game, I don't know how many nowadays call from like the managers or the catchers. Pitching can always wave them off, but some catchers just have a better feel for the game for sure and get their pitcher in a rhythm. So I definitely believe in this stuff. It's just so much little stuff that, I mean, I can't take it. I'm not going to put into my day-to-day process something that small that I don't really know and follow at the end of the day too much, but I'm not surprised. And I believe there are a lot better catchers for your pitchers behind the plate than others.
I could add to that title. When you're saying something like that, when you're looking at something for me, I mean, I use something like that. Like if I'm undecided about who I like a little better, like for example, today at pitching, there's like, I can't even really decide who my SP1 is. I mean, it's kind of, you can make argument for 4 dudes today, but you know what? Maybe you get a little tidbit like that, or, maybe you get something from one of the baseball writers in that town. You hear something, or you hear something, like a lot of times you're listening to the games. I got 3 TVs in the basement. I'll be listening to different games across the country, and you'll just hear, oh well, on Sunday this dude Ohtani at home hits like 650 or something stupid, and you're just like, oh well shit, it's Sunday, he's at home, I remember that. Just sometimes I like, you pat yourself in the back, you remember, it makes you feel good about it. It probably didn't really matter, but it really made you feel good that, hey, I did something. Or, it's like playing poker and your buddy says, dude, my favorite hand is ace or king, queen. And then the next time you're out and you call somebody with king, queen and you win, and now all of a sudden that's your favorite hand. It's like the same shit. Like you hear silly things, but I mean, all those little tidbits. You know what that tells me? He's paying attention. That's Absolutely. All that really tells me. You're paying attention. You're paying attention to little things. You're engaged, and that's all that tells me. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I believe in this a lot more than I believe in on Sunday. This guy wakes up and he just has the juice or whatever it is compared to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think there is merit in this for sure.
I mean, maybe a Saturday night girlfriend is, got the hot sheets.
You never know. Who else we got in here? Wins a lot. Hope you're doing well. Ross K. See ya, Mars. See ya on Mars. Like that. I don't know who that is behind that helmet, but hey, football will be here before we know it.
I think that's Milton, their quarterback.
All right. The
I think he went to
arm.
Michigan. Pretty sure. Joe Milton, then he went to Tennessee.
Yep. Robert Davis, great to see you. Extra. Pop Stoner, Badlands. Hope everybody out there having a great day so far. William, Colin, can't wait for foosball. I cannot wait either. Ramondre, that's who that was. Ramondre. I hope he has a good year.
Okay, fair. I saw the dreads. I was just kind of trying to think who had dreads.
Joe Milton canceling it. Yeah, looks effortless for sure. Matt Smith, the slate is so bad. Put in chat why you think it's so bad. I think obviously the bigger the slate, not everyone loves monster slates, but easy in here. NY. Let's go and talk about this slate, just quick broad slate. I mean, plenty of team totals above 5, like we talked about. We're seeing the Yankees, the Tigers, the Royals, St. Louis, got Texas close, the Dodgers approaching 6, Tampa and the A's like yesterday. So we got some high run totals. Pitching wise, we also have spend up pitchers. Let's sort by, we're taking the average of SHIPIT Nation and SaberSim, Rodon, Peralta, Skeens, Flaherty. 4 pitchers all projected above 18.5. Let's go down a little bit to like below 8K. Sheehan. So right there, 4 points lower than a Flaherty, 7.7K. There's Lopez, Liberatore, Waka. It feels pretty similar to yesterday in the sense of a couple pitchers are not even in the tier of their own for today's slate, but they're spend up pitchers and they definitely project a couple points higher than the mid tier. When you go down low, you're sitting in this 14-ish range. I know Nate yesterday said in Discord, like, I'm done spending up for pitcher the rest of the year. I don't know if that's just like on the night, you overreact a little bit, or you get upset, or you just get caught up into the 1 day sample as much. By no means am I not going to be spending up at pitcher today. I do think, again, the chalk build is spending up at pitcher for 2 of Rodon, Peralta, Skeens, Flaherty probably. And the reason for that is, again, similar to yesterday. Yes, the Dodgers are on the slate. Yes, the Yankees are on the slate. Bats that if you want a 5-man stack at the top of the order, you got to get different. You got to go down at pitching or save salary. But there's also enough high run total teams like the Cardinals, the Tigers, etc., where like Tampa again, where it's easy to get those high run total offenses that are cheap, that are kind of in the top of the order, and pay up for pitching. That'll project the best build so far. Do you have any broad slate on? Do you want to run back double spend pitching like to end out the year? Is spend up pitching more of a concern for you? I think it's always like it's different per team. If you're still like Paul Skeens, we're looking at pitch counts right here. 96, Rodon 90, or Peralta 96, 96 Rodon, 94 Flaherty, 94 Skeens. Like all these are still very, very elite. I'm expecting them all to go deep into games. Whereas you go down to 8Ks and 8.2Ks and stuff, you're getting into the mid to high 80s, which you're giving up like a 10 pitch count, which could be a full inning from these top guys to the mid-tier arms. Anything in pitch count talks? Yesterday, the studs getting beat up. Does that change anything for you? And then you can take us just that broad slate all the way to 8K and above, Jacob Lopez up to Paul Skeens.
Yeah, as far as pitching goes, I mean, to me, I think we're just seeing the times of baseball. I mean, in the prior, like it seems even, a few years back, it seemed like you had to have that high-end pitcher that was going to go out and get you, 8 innings and throw 10, 11 Ks. I mean, we saw it quite often, actually. It seems like we saw it way back more than now. And I think the pricing hasn't adjusted yet really by the sites to where I think they need to bump up the bat pricing a little more because of the, just the pitching overall, as far as the way the game was made, as far as like longevity and strikeouts and stuff like that, I think is declining really. I mean, and especially some of these teams that know they're going to have a potential long playoff run, you start to see them pull their reins back a little bit. And, especially when they get the stressful innings and stuff like that, they'll pull, guys back a little bit. I mean, we've seen it, a few times with different pitching, but I think what you got to do is in any slate is you got to kind of look at what you're looking at. And I mean, I like high-end pitching and going to both ends if I feel like that nobody else really is. And then I feel like if my 2 pitchers have a good game and I have a cheaper stack that goes off and I put it with one, maybe my favorite stack of the day, well, I'm going to probably win I'm probably going to win quite, often more times than not. So to me, I think that's it. I mean, but, if everybody's going to be playing one high-end pitcher and one low-end pitcher, which kind of seems like the way it's been going, everybody kind of seems to be more willing to take one shot at a guy like a Michael Wacha today, who I don't think really has much upside, but he's like the safe dude that don't cost much. But you look at his price on FanDuel and he's priced too high. He's like 9,200 over there. I'm not paying up for that over there. So, for me, he's not even in the ball game over there. But I mean, so today you look at pitching like Paul Skeens. He's 11K. To me, he needs to have that, 8 inning. He's getting me, 10, 11 Ks. We're probably not going to see that on Paul Skeens. So does he have decent games? Does he have some strikeout upside? Sure. But it just seems like he's not getting any wins either. It seems like he's been pitching well. His team can't score any runs for him because his team can't hit for shit. So, but, to me, when you look at the guys up top, I think I like Skeens more on FanDuel because it's easier to get, the higher price pitchers with your bats. But, I mean, just looking at the group, I think between Skeens, Rendon, Peralta, and Flaherty are all 4 guys that I think up here at the top are interesting for me. And I think I like Fastball Freddie because he's $1,000 difference over here on DK. I think he's not going to be as highly owned. And he's got a team that's won 25 out of 29 here recently. So I like his chances to get a win against a team that obviously can't hit. And I think if Freddie can get past the 5 inning mark, which he hasn't done in his last 4 starts, which is a little concerning, if he can keep his control in, but I think he'll be locked in and focused because he knows the Skeens on the other side of the dugout over there. I mean, this is the marquee game of the baseball slate. I mean, truly for baseball fans, Skeens and the Brewers going against the Brewers today. I mean, it's almost like a playoff atmosphere type game as far as I see it. So I kind of like Freddie for that reason. But you look at Jack Flaherty, he struggled a little bit in recent times, but man, the White Sox got a handful of bats that are almost 30% strikeout percentage. So I like Flaherty's upside as far as strikeouts go against a team that really isn't that good, doesn't have that much power. You know, we mentioned the weather concern, but as you said, it's going to be a little bit later. So, I mean, I don't want to be a homer and say I like Flaherty the most because I actually kind of like Peralta the most. But if I'm on FanDuel, I think Skeens would be up a little higher than I have Freddie. But I think Flaherty is definitely interesting because of the strikeout upside he has. Man, Robbie Ray, you know, you look at somebody like Robbie Ray, and I'm thinking, do I want to play Robbie Ray on a slate where probably nobody's going to play Robbie Ray? Like, that's the time you want to play Robbie Ray, right? But, man, I just don't see the strikeout upside. I mean, he got the Pirates. Who doesn't get the Pirates? The Pirates suck. But, you know, Robbie Ray, I think, you know, I just rather play some of these other options up here. And then if you start looking down below, man, it gets thin real quick. So, you know, are you comfortable playing a guy, Jacob Lopez against Tampa? I mean, do you want to play a low strikeout pitcher and Michael Wacha against Washington, which, you know, could be interesting. Shane Baz is up and down. You never know what you're going to get with that dude, even though he has had a little bit more success with some strikeouts. And then I go to Spencer Strider, which, man, I want to just call the guy an ace. I wish he was there. But as long as the season goes on here, he's just not that Spencer Strider that I've been used to seeing in the previous years. So I don't like his matchup. But, you know, so I think for me, nobody stands out. And I wish there was better options below because I would agree with Nades. I'd probably pay down for pitching and try to load up on bats, especially this time of year, because we're seeing 3-4 teams a night scoring more than a touchdown. I mean, it's almost every night. We've seen 3-4, you know, teams score over 10 in multiple slates. So at that point, the stacking comes in. You got to have the 4-4 stacks. You know, you're not having the low scoring slates where the pitching is dominating. You know, if you're getting hitters with 30 and 40 points, you know, and you end up with a pitcher with, you know, 15 or 20, and you end up having that stack, and that stack goes off for 80, 90 points. I mean, how many nights have we seen 240 on FanDuel is like that night I came in sixth place, I had like 241 or some shit. Like, if you would have told me I'm scoring 241, I'm thinking I'm shipping the whole damn site. And I didn't even, you know, I came in sixth. Like, what the hell, dude? So, I mean, there's been a lot of bats lately. So I think we're just in that time of the year. It's going to start getting colder. And then it's going to start change. You got to just be up on it. I wouldn't bail on that theory at all at this point. Maybe in this immediate future, if you want to, you know, start paying down just because bats are hot. That's the time of the year we're in. It's warm everywhere. So, you know, I don't get overly excited. It's like BVP numbers. Yeah, it works one night, but if you keep doing that, it's going to burn your ass in the long run. So, you know, it's just the same kind of thing, Title, I think. I just wouldn't get overly excited right now. I think pitching generally starts to dominate, especially as these teams got to tighten it up, man. They got playoff races coming. They got stuff coming up. You know, games start becoming more meaningful. So pitching can start to change. Leashes could change for certain guys. You know, like matchups are going to start coming into play. Like, this is a different time of year. Benches are going to start getting longer, too. We're going to have 40-man benches here soon. So, you know, a lot of stuff's going to change. So I wouldn't get overly excited. But, dude, you're a stud pitcher, the stud pitchers pitch. The managers ain't going out there telling Tarek Skubal, I'm pulling you like early because, you know, it just causes tension. Usually the studs are studs, and they get their innings and pitches in. But, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't get overly excited, though.
Yeah, I know I want to spend up back at pitching. And I know Robbie Ray, of these top 5 arms, are the clear – I'm sorting my salary, so you can throw Flaherty in there too. Flaherty will be higher owned, projects better than Strider, Ray, and is cheaper. Ray is my clear least favorite of the bunch, and a lot of that just has to do with the K prop. like this new San Diego team getting Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn, etc. The lineup's a lot deeper. The bottom of the order is not as bad, but the strikeouts have not been the same for Robbie Ray, and that's reflected in his K prop. 5.5 minus 140 juice on the under. When you're comparing that to the rest of this range, the best K prop, Freddie Peralta, 7.5 minus 150 on the under. Paul Skeens second, 6.5 minus 150 on the over. Rodon and Strider pretty much tied, 6.5 minus 120-ish juice on the over. And then we're looking at, who did I miss? I got then Flaherty, 6.5 minus 125 juice on the under. But even right there, going Flaherty, who had the lowest K prop, down to Robbie Ray, Robbie Ray's a full strikeout less and more juice on the under. And right now, if you want pivot, so I'm just going to cross off Robbie Ray right here in 20 and below. I think it's going to be clearly Freddie is the highest owned. And then I think it's going to be Flaherty is the second highest owned due to that $9,200 savings. I think Strider is a very interesting pivot that in chalkier lineups, you can reflect that with the ownership. Yes, the Mets are a lot better team than the Pirates, than the White Sox, etc. Still, Strider's K prop at 6.5 is very good. And I think Rodon, people are going to go either Freddie or they're going to try and find the money for Skeens. So I totally am fine going Rodon or Strider and not playing any of the chalk up top and chalkier stuff. Now, if I had to pick one pitcher today, it's not going to be great. I'm going against the Brewers. I'm not saying they're going to lose. The Brewers might find a way to win a 2-1 game or whatever it may be. But I'm saying Paul Skeens shows up today. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, going against the best team in baseball. He knows Freddie's on the other side. It's a big-time baseball game in Milwaukee tonight. I think the best dude in Skeens does show up and wants to make a statement. And what I love is he's the highest price. His ownership, yes, he will get some. But again, I think Freddie and Flaherty will be higher owned. I want to get overweight on Skeens if I can. I like Skeens a lot. Again, I think Rodon's a very interesting pivot. Not much bad to say about Freddie. Freddie's taken on one of the worst teams in the Pirates. But again, it's the ownership. Flaherty, both Rodon and Flaherty, it was a slate. I think it was last Thursday when they pitched. It was a very short slate. Both of them got beat up pretty bad against Texas, I think, beat up Rodon, not too good of a ball club. Minnesota, that awful team, beat up on Flaherty. He gets the White Sox, and I love picking on the White Sox. However, we mentioned yesterday, like Colton Montgomery, complete stud. Benintendi, the heart of the order. Robert, Talkman, they got some concerning bats near the top or the middle, but man, it really falls off at the bottom. Flaherty should have a lot of run support. You can see big favorites are the Tigers. How I rank would be Skeens 1, Flaherty 2, Freddie 3 if we're talking just in a vacuum. But again, if I was like underweight Freddie, Flaherty, and they got me overweight Rodon, Strider, I don't hate that in chalkier stuff. If you're going like the Cardinals, the Royals, teams that are the obvious value teams, that is when I think pivoting up top at pitching. Like if you played the Brewers yesterday, they were very chalk. Like playing them with Yamamoto, Crochet was harder to do. If it was a slate like today, when the Brewers were the chalk spend down team, I would like going Rodon over Skeens or Peralta, etc. We have enough pivots up top in the pitching range that I think you do see a pretty big ownership gap with Rodon and Strider. I do like Flaherty, like I said. Shane Baz has the other best K prop on the slate after Flaherty, and that is higher than Robbie Ray's too. 5.5 minus 125 on the over. I don't hate him for upside. There's plenty of downside for him, though. Michael Wacha, just a solid real-life pitcher. Is 16 enough on this slate? Probably not, so I really don't love it. Just like I don't like Jacob Lopez too much. Yes, a big arm. However, taking on the Rays, good hitting park. There's just a lot of downside, I think, for Jacob Lopez. He's 5.5 K prop, good amount of juice on the under too. But like I do want some spend down options. So I'm going to keep Baz, Wacha, Lopez in the pool for now. Can you make cases for Sheehan, Jack Leiter? I do think Spencer Arguetti is a little interesting. I see a couple people talking Nestor Cortez. He stands out with the ballpark, with the projection. Solid first start for himself. The guys that stand out, Arguetti, Cortez are my two favorite down here. Can you keep other people in the pool, though? Just start from either Clay Holmes down or Hatch up, and then just tell me who I can X out and then break down this range.
Yeah, I think Lopez. I keep Lopez, and I know you mentioned him, but 8K. I mean, the thing that worries me, I was looking at his log. He had 114 pitches last time, so just a little bit concerned they may not let him go, too far past 90 at that point. But I mean, I don't mind that at all. I think that's something I'd look at. Waka, like you said, I just don't like the upside. Sheehan's just like a 80. He's not going to get much more than 80 pitches. I mean, he's got a 26% K rate against righties, which I like. I don't mind that. He does give up a little bit more fly balls than I would like. I'd leave him in the pool. Berrios, I don't know. Brown's not in. Liberatore, Leiter. I can't play Leiter. I just can't do it. That dude sucks. Liberatore, he's just not been good. He's been horrible. I don't like him at all. I just think there's really some thin. I don't know, man. Even Cortez, you're saying. I mean, he did have 76 pitches here. I see off his last start when he came off. I mean, I don't love it, but I mean, he's Nestor Cortez. You're getting him fairly cheap. I mean, if I can get 85, 90 pitches potentially out of that with that salary, I mean, I think I'd rather take a chance there than, somebody like a Waka, who I just don't feel like I mean, I feel like he's got a decent floor, but I just don't feel like he has the upside. And then I feel like that also depends on how risky you want to get with some of the upside, depending on the kind of tournament that you're in. I think if you're in a large field tournament, you got to have every points of upside, that you need to be able to get to the top of a lot of those. So I don't think playing, like if you're in the $100 single entry and there's only 70 people in it, I think you can get away with playing somebody like Waka and winning it. But if there's 3,000 people in it, I don't think you can play Michael Waka and win it, if that makes sense, Title. Like, I think you would have to then hope that somebody like, Nestor Cortez goes out and you play him and he goes out for 8 Ks in 6 innings. I think, that's probably more be likely than what we're seeing with Waka. So, yeah, I think it really depends on the size tournament you're in and what, size field you're in. But, I mean, to me, I think Flaherty has some strikeout upside. I think Skeens and Peralta obviously do. Baz has some upside. Lopez, Sheehan. I would probably toss out Arrighetti and Freeland, leave in Cortez, and just kind of leave it at that. But then I think would pretty much be my pool.
I can't go Medeiros at 4K. The pitch count so far down there is K-Prop's 2.5, minus 155 on the under. I get he's 4K. There's enough cheap bats. I can't do that. I don't think I can do Kyle Freeland. Again, I don't think I need to punt that much. I'd still like the double spend at pitcher. I know it burned us yesterday. Bats are still too cheap on average. 12 teams, 12 games, 24 teams to pick from. Like, I'm more so going to prioritize pitching up top. The guys I do like down here, Cortez, Arrighetti. Arrighetti's K-prop is very fine. 5.5. It's a coin flip on both sides. Looking at his pitch count, 83. Is it great? No. But honestly, I look at that. They know the pitch count is a phenomenal, but the K stuff is one of the highest on the slate once you jump down from this Flaherty tier right here. Like, it's better than Waka, Lopez, Cortez, Sheehan. Another one right there, 5.5, a little juice on the under. However, he gets this Angels team that I know they've been busting chalk pitching, Skubal and stuff as of late. They got to Yamamoto yesterday. Still not a great ball club. Yeah, they aren't applied for 4-4. It's just another guy that he projects solid down here. Ownership's not really coming. This is how my stuff would look. Most of my teams, I want a Flaherty, Strider, Freddie, Rodon, Skeens. It's easy to double spend. Yes, it's the chalk build, but there's at least more options up top compared to yesterday where it's not going to be as chalky. And then if you want to add in Baz, Waka, Lopez, I'm very, very indifferent to this range, I will say. I think I'm more likely to go down to Arrighetti or just Cortez and save the 2K, something like that, from these mid-tier guys than I am to play this range. But this is how my pitching pool would look. Definitely more spread out than yesterday. We're also got some more games. Anything you would cross off to this or make a change to this pool?
No, I think that's good. But I think too, Todd, when you're playing around with this too, and you're at home and you're fooling around with your optimizer, like, look at it, like lock in 2 high-end pitchers and then see what it gives you. And then take out one of the high-end pitchers and then put in a low-end guy, see what it gives you. It might be a difference of Michael Conforto in your lineup instead of Ohtani, but yet Now you get 2 high-end pitchers who, if you probably think in your mind, like, what are the chances these guys get this points instead of Ohtani over Conforto? So that's the way I kind of think about it, Title, sometimes, because you look at when you're playing with the optimizers and you're like, yeah, this is basically a 2 versus 2, and it's going to be these guys being switched versus these 2 guys. Like, you kind of know then, like, what am I sacrificing if I go high-end pitching? Like, I'm only like, if Conforto hits a bomb, like, dude, you can justify you paying up for that high-end pitching. Like, so, like, to me, that's like what I think to myself. Now, if I'm sacrificing 2 high-end bats to do that, you might think, I don't want to break up my, 1 through 5 stack or something and, throw in a 7-hitter or, 8-hitter instead. Like, that's what I kind of look at when I'm trying to decide if it's worth my risk or value. Do I want to do that? Am I getting that good of a, hitter because I went down to a Arrighetti instead of me just jamming in Flaherty? Like, that's the way I like to kind of see what's in front of me.
Yeah, we always talk about it. The dry run. Look at what double spend pitchers do versus one spend up, one spend down pitcher. If it is simple, a 2v2, something like that, I'm more apt to side with the double spend pitching and take out one big bat because even though it doesn't seem like it is of late, it's a lot easier to project pitching than it is bats. Going 0 for 4 any single day is not rare at all. Pitchers can throw 95 pitches, etc. So there's a lot more control and it's easier to project. It's still very hard. As we saw yesterday, one bad inning, one error in the outfield can lead to 15 extra pitches. Just a simple Mets-Brewers series, if you watched over the weekend, a pitch clock from it was just 0 second. Contreras flew out. They called it after because he raised his hand. The next pitch was a home run, a 2-run shot or something. That one sequence right there can change everything for a pitcher. Skubal, when he got robbed on a strike, I don't think it was a strikeout, but a strike clearly at the top of the zone that was there. He's like, are you effing kidding me? Like, guys can get in their head. Yeah, you can get in their head right there. Oh, now I can't pitch the ball in this corner. I'm getting squeezed. It can change everything. So,
and now wait till they get this female umpire that they're clowning around in front of everybody, and she misses the first pitch, and everybody was giving her shit on Twitter. And I'm thinking, this is just them about to shuffle in the umpire that that they're gonna have like tennis. It's gonna be an umpire, and it'll be right up on the screen, and it'll be just basically a computer telling you where that pitch was.
I'll take robot umps. I've been calling for it for a while.
I think that's coming. It's coming. They're already been fooling with it. We already kind of saw it during the All-Star game. So I think they were a couple of years away from that. Probably, I think the next contract is up in the players deal is up like in 26. I think after next season, I think it is. So after that labor contract's up, I could see that being introduced. I think that's coming.
Yeah, I like keeping the humanity into a lot of sports, but when you get a strike 3 call or whatever, 6 inches inside the play, whatever it is, it can change the outlook of everything. I'd rather get the strike. I would
never do that job, man. Those umpires that get ball, you got balls to stand back there and constantly getting hit by foul balls and shit. Like, they get hit here and crap. I'm just like, dude, how do you even stand back there like you want to? Like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Keep them in the game all the. I just want the strike zone to be right, and I think it's the easy way to do it. We're not here to argue that, though. I totally understand the other side.
What I did want to stop conversation sometime. That's the safety meeting brain in me right there, Title.
Hey, I love it too. There's nothing wrong with that. Before we go to bats, I did want to just show on such a big slate our top 7 rankings in our pitcher rankings. So MLB pitcher rankings, we have hitter rankings, stack rankings. You can't see it on the stone, but I found it interesting. Freddie, Skeens, Rodon, not that interesting there. Still Rodon 3 was a little interesting. Jacob Lopez, we kept him in the pool high. Robbie Ray, who we didn't like much, but as you can see, If you're following pitcher rankings, that's a big part of your process at ownership. That's the way to get different. Waka was in our pool and Sheehan. The one name we did not have was Flaherty. If I search Flaherty, that stood out to me. 17th in the pitcher rankings, getting a good amount of ownership. So do with that what you will. I always like looking at our pitcher rankings. It's a part of my process. I found that to be pretty interesting. Again, it did like Rodon and Robbie Ray quite a bit as pivots up top. I got nothing more to add.
I agree with that 1,000%.
I got nothing more really to add there. We got 12 games on tap, Gyiraszin. I say we started off with the Yankees and the Twins. We are looking at Carlos Rodon and Thomas Hatch on the mound. And you see Thomas Hatch, he's probably going to throw, what did he do, 56 last time out. So it's going to be 3-4 innings is my guess roughly for him. And then you get a Twins bullpen behind. We got, what total are we looking at in this?
9
total, minus 220 favorites are the Yankees. Yankees got the job done yesterday via the long ball. We talked about it a good amount. They were very low owned. Similar to today, if you play Judge, Bellinger, Giancarlo, Jazz, you cannot double spend at pitching. That's what people are going to want to do. We talked about it, like McMahon, Volpe, Goldie in the 7 hole. This lineup's just so fun because you can easily flip it over. When McMahon's up to bat in the 8th spot, you don't think it's an automatic out. You go down to half these teams down below, McKinstry, Quaro, Henry Davis, Kinner Falefa. Like, it's completely different night and day than most teams. I like teams that can flip over the order. I like teams that have power. I like low-owned teams. That's what the Yankees are. We kept enough low-owned pitchers in the pool. I think I am good playing the Yankees. Going right back to them. Any thoughts for you, Yankees, Twins?
I mean, Yankees got the second highest team total on the slate behind the Dodgers. I mean, I like the lefties a little bit more than not. I mean, you look at that pitcher they got going out for Hatch for the Twins. I mean, dude's a low strikeout pitcher. It's got a middle ground ball rate, but I mean, the bullpen is average over there. But yeah, I like the lefty power of the Yankees. I mean, 5.5 team total. They're definitely going to show out pretty well in the optos too.
Yeah. I'm seeing Thomas Hatch. Anyone else? Am I going crazy? Are you seeing Thomas Hatch? See, there it's not. So it's Travis Adams. Is this changed?
Let me see what the sports books say. They could be where one's starting and the other one's supposed to come in the longer relief. Sometimes they'll do that, but
I am seeing Travis Adams on DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, maybe it is.
Let's see what this Travis Adams guy is looking like.
He may just be the opener.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. I mean, he definitely doesn't go deep. I wonder if it's him and then Hatch coming after. If it's,
I think it may be.
If anyone has more,
let me look at the
Adams Hatch. They're both trash. If anyone got how
they're
many
all
pitches,
trash. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're not. It's not like we're trying to decide between an A.
I just want to know if he's going to go like 50 pitches, if he's going to go 10 pitches, 15 pitches, and then someone else is going to come for 3-4. What it's looking like.
Either way, it's a bullpen game.
I do want Robot Ums, Jake. I want him to get it right. I'm not lying to you. Oh, enjoy it, Sheets. But we're looking like a bullpen game, and it's Travis Adams. Nothing really changes much in the fact that I still like the Yanks, but I got to look way more into it. I was looking at Hatch, who pitched 4 innings last time and did solid, but it's going to be Adams, so we have to get this updated on the stone. Next game, Toronto Blue Jays and the Chicago Cubs. Jose Berrios, and it was Ben Brown. Now it's Javier Assad, so we did get that updated. 9 total in this one as well. Minus 132 favorites are the Blue Jays. I mean, Berrios is someone I've been picking on a little bit as of late. The Cubs, are talking ownership. The Cubs are the pivot of the pivot. They're expensive. So if people play them, it's hard to double spend at pitching. When you don't double spend at pitching and you pay up for bats, it's either Yankees or the Dodgers when we go all the way down here. So how many teams would it take you to play a PCA, a Suzuki, a Kyle Tucker against Berrios here and pay down at pitching somewhere else. Hitter rankings look pretty good. Blue Jays on the other side, one bat over 5K, the rest pretty fairly priced. Solid run total. Again, a late scratch and Ben Brown. Now Assad on the mound. What are you looking at in this game in Toronto?
I mean, I think the Cubs are really interesting as a low-owned team. You're getting one of the better teams in baseball. Berrios has been struggling those last 30 days, especially getting barreled up here. I mean, he's at a 13.5% barrel rate to lefties, and he's at 11.5% to righties in the last 30 days. His ground ball percentage is a little higher to the righties, but he's not getting any ground balls out of the lefties. His WOBA is 361 to lefty, 428 to righty, 333 ISO to righties. His strikeout percentage is in the teens to both sides of the plate. So, I mean, he's been getting hit hard a lot. I mean, and this Cubby team can absolutely smoke some righties. I mean, shit, their top 5 in their lineup are all over 350 WOBA against righties. They don't really strike out much as a team. Suzuki and Bush, man, we like Bush, are only ones that really strike out much. I mean, yeah, I mean, as you said, they can turn the lineup over. I don't even mind Shaw at the bottom part of that lineup. Swanson, Horner, Happ, I mean, Kelly. I mean, I like them here, especially if you're going to get them lower owned. I would put them as probably my low owned favorite stack, actually, Title, to tell you the truth. I mean, if I rank them out, I would put them in my top probably 6. But looking at the ownership percentage, I'd probably bump them up in my top 2 or 3, to be truthful.
Okay. That's I like it for sure. I can't get them that high. I know I want to double spend at pitching a lot. So I know Cubs side I can't get that high. I actually prefer Blue Jays because I can still double spend at pitching, play a Kirk, a Ty France, something like that. Obviously, you couldn't play Vlad, but you could go Vlad, Bo, Kirk, Ernie Clement, Filito, flip over the order that way. I think Blue Jays probably come in somewhere around like 6, 7 for me. Someone asked how long Assad would pitch. Sabersim has his projected pitches at 89. So it looks like a normal full start for Assad. Nothing changes there.
Yeah, I don't have the Blue Jays ranked as high as I would have the Cubs. I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at, basically the Yankees and the Dodgers are grading out the highest team totals of the bats that we're going to have to probably compete with tonight. And I think the Cubbies can definitely keep up with the Dodgers and Yankees.
Yeah, Ben Brown, pretty similar to both sides of the plate. Like, don't be scared to play righties by any means. Walks a decent amount of guys. K-prop sitting a lot less strikeouts to the right side than the left side. Some of my favorite bats, like guys that can get the ball in the air. Problem is, you always talk about it. The Blue Jays don't really have too many guys. Dalton Varsho would be one of my favorite bats. Barger in the 4-hole. Probably more mini stacks than full stacks for the Blue Jays. I don't mind the Cubs, but I just don't love the idea of spending down at pitching too much. So neither of these two teams crack my top 6. I prefer some other teams. Prefer Blue Jays because of the pricing. Gyiraszin prefers Cubs. Hitter rankings, both sides grade out pretty solid. But yeah, 12-game slate. Like, we have plenty of other teams we can get to. Let's group in these next 2 games, Gyiraszin, the Mets, Braves, and the White Sox and the Tigers. Mets, Braves, we're looking at an 8 total. Tigers, White Sox, an 8.5 total. Can you pick on Strider? I'm not really going to be doing so myself. Clay Holmes against the Braves, and then we have Flaherty against the White Sox, and Mike Vasil looks like he threw, what was it? I think it was like 60-something pitches last time out. He'll be going 4 innings, something like that, and then a bullpen behind him. Your Tigers, any of these other 3 teams stand out to you?
I mean, Strider's been getting barreled up in recent times for righties. I mean, 16% barrel rate in his last 30 days. He's been walking guys a little more than he has in recent times. His WOBA against righties, 432. I mean, Pete Alonso might be a decent play tonight. You're just not going to get the ownership on Strider for me to really get the leverage that I want. So, I mean, it doesn't look as great as that, that you would think maybe on a normal night where Strider's generally, one of the more popular pitchers. But remember, we've talked about it here in the last few times Strider's been out. Remember that one time I literally was against Strider. It didn't work out that day because he just hasn't been all that great. But that's why I'm not really high on it, Strider, as I am today. I just don't think I would get the leverage that I want off the Mets to take that chance. So for that reason, I wouldn't rank him as high, but the thought was there, right? Like I thought about it because I know Strider's in that spot. I just don't think today's the right day.
That makes sense. What about your Tigers or White Sox?
Man, I'll tell you, the Tigers have been hitting better here in recent times. Last 2 weeks, they are up there. And in as far as all of OPS in baseball, they're actually fourth. Toronto, Milwaukee, A's, Tigers, Astros. Okay. Top 5 in OPS in the last 15 days. So, White Sox isn't a team that I generally do fear. I do have the Tigers ranked up a little higher, but there's a handful of teams. I wouldn't play them in any of my top 3 teams today. But if I'm playing maybe 10, I'd probably include some Tigers. But, especially some of them lefties. The White Sox have been using their lefties out of the bullpen in the last few days too. So, I think they got 3 or 4 lefties in that bullpen. They've been using a couple of them up in the last few days. So I wouldn't be as worried about the lefty pinch hit like the Colt Keese of the world and Kerry Carpenter's getting pinch hit for. But I don't mind the Tigers. I just don't have them up in my top rank stacks, especially a little bit of, they waited out that 9th inning yesterday. But I'd put the Tigers up there. I just don't have them all that high.
Yeah, Torque's been hitting the ball. Your old coaster, Colt Keith at the top of the order, only 3.4K at a third base spot. No one above 5K besides Riley Green. Like, you can stack 1 through 5 and play 2 spend-up pitchers on this slate with the run total above 5, guaranteed 9th inning at bats against the bad bullpen of the White Sox. That's all I need to hear, so the Tigers will crack my top 5 today. Again, I am going to focus. Didn't work yesterday. That does not mean I'm jumping off the ship. I prefer spending up at pitching, and Tigers are away to do that, and ownership is very, very much in check. So I like the Tigers. Heck, I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, when they play Flaherty, if I played 5 Tigers, you can play Flaherty. You hope that if you are on the winner, the Tigers are putting up 10 plus runs. Flaherty's more likely to get the win. A little correlation there. So I don't like the Mets. I don't like the Braves. I don't like the White Sox. I do like the Tigers. Let's group these next 2 in as well, because
Ross asked about that game, the Tigers, if there's weather concerns. We mentioned at the top of the show that we do have a little weather concern, but it's supposed to be later in the game, so we felt better about Flaherty.
Late start and play.
Play it.
Yeah, I misspoke. So late start and play is Ross' best guess. Yellow, orange, but right now he has no late start and play means absolutely nothing. No concern for the pitcher, so I'm not worried about anything in that game for now. Let's group again, Pirates, Brewers, and Nats, Royals, because, I'm not playing a 6.5 total. That's what we have in Pittsburgh or in Milwaukee against Pittsburgh. Then we have the Royals and the Nats. This is a 9 total. Minus 199 favorites are the Royals. I like the Royals. They're one of my favorite stacks on the slate. Looking at the Stone, we do see they are getting a little more ownership. Like, comparing the Royals, 67 to the Tigers. So almost double the ownership. If I'm playing the Royals, maybe I'm more likely to play a Rodon, play a Strider. If you like a Robbie Ray, do something up top, because you can still double spend at pitching very easily. This team's so cheap. But Mitchell Parker, you definitely want right-handers against him. He's a lot tougher against the left side of the plate. But, man, this Mitchell Parker cat gives up, some decent fly balls. The strikeouts are down. He really just gets barreled by a good bit by right-handers. Bobby Witt grades out very well. Salvi gets the ball in the air. Grichuk, who's in the lineup. The ones you don't want, like Vinny P. Again, lefty, I don't love. Adam Frazier, I don't want to play him. But 7 righties they're throwing against Mitchell Parker. And, Vinny P's a good bat, grades out well. Like, I wouldn't hate if he was in my stacks. Give me the righties, though. They're very fairly priced. The problem with the Royals is I just don't know how much I want to get to Tyler Tolbert, Nick Lofton. With all that being said, they're free. If it makes everything work, double spend pitching, get you what you want. Sure, I guess. But the heart of the order and the top of the order I like for the Royals. I don't like Pirates. I don't like the Brewers. I think Nats lefties are pretty interesting too. You definitely want lefties against Waka more than the righties, especially power lefties that can get in the air. James Wood, Josh Bell, Abrams all look pretty good. Definitely not five-manning the Nats though. Any bats for you? Pirates, Brewers, Royals, Nats?
Man, yeah, I'm not playing any Pirates or Brewers. I think that game's going to be a pitcher's duel. That's some good baseball there. The Nats, I'm not really interested in going against Waka. I just don't think Waka is a pitcher that's going to really get blown up. But we know this Nats bullpen stinks. The Royals just stink too. Like, I just can't do it. I say it all the time. It's like zipping your dinghy up, man. You do it once, you ain't going to do it again. They just don't have enough power for me. I mean, maybe if you want to go a little mini stack with Witt, maybe Perez, and maybe throw in like Grichuk, maybe I could understand. But the full five-man, I feel like I got to like poke myself in the eye twice to get the other two dudes. Like, it's just somebody I just not going to want to have. So I just I can't play the Royals. I don't care if they score 8 runs, they'll single and double you to death. I mean, I just don't have the Royals up there. I have the Tigers. I'd have the Tigers a lot higher than I'd have the Royals. But I mean, Bobby Witt, I mean, he's really good. His fly ball percentage isn't really all that high. So, it's just concerning. I just don't like to play the Royals, especially on a 12-game slate when I feel like I literally need to have the highest upside at hitting I need to have, possibly can get today. So because I think there's going to be some teams that are going to score north of a touchdown here today and probably get up to 10 runs, and those stacks are going to win. I mean, if we get a stack that even has 7 or 6 runs, but they hit 4 homers, that stack, you get 4 of them 5, dude, that stack's winning. That's pretty much the way it is. I don't think the Royals have 4 homers in that lineup title. To me, it's just, I don't feel it. I think the Tigers could have 4 homers in that lineup. But that's why when I just kind of look at it, I mean, if it's a small slate, like 5 games or something title, I can maybe stomach some Royals. No way on a 12. I don't even think about the Royals in 12-game slate, because give me a lighter. We can just burn the Hyundai right now.
Yeah, I like the Royals a little more than you. I get what you're saying, but 7 righties against Parker, who struggles a bit against righties, solid hitting weather, run totals there. Let's be pay up at pitching. I get it. My 2 favorite bats would be the 2 favorite in the hitter rankings. Salvi at catcher, Grichuk in the outfield. That'd be my favorite way to go about mini. Doesn't break the bank one bit, but I'm good going Garcia, Bobby, Perez, Grichuk, India. Fills out second, short, catcher, third base. Like, that's what I love. It's the onesie positions. You don't need to waste many in the outfield, which usually are the coveted positions. So I hate to say it, but Royals are in my top 3 today. Scary, scary stuff. I know. I know. All right, let's keep it rolling. We'll group the next 2 games: Cardinals, Rockies, the Rangers, and the D-backs. 12 games, always a lot to talk about. Liberatore, Freeland, 2 southpaws on the mound for this game, and then we got Jack Leiter and Desclafani. Looking at the totals for the Rockies game, it's 8.5. For the Rangers game, it's also 8.5. Cardinals pretty big favorites. The Rangers minus 155. Freeland, I mean, he limits fly balls a little bit, but balls are always in play against him. Looking at the righties, again, they rolled out 6 righties against Freeland here. In this game, the Rangers a solid run total. You definitely prefer lefties against Desclafani, Josh Smith, Seager, Jock, everyone's favorite, Min Price. He went from 2,100 to 2K. Rowdy has a little pop there. I don't mind the Rangers, especially the lefties. Corey Seager, number 1 in our hitter ranking. Cannot disagree with that by any means. Only 4,400, way too cheap. Yeah, Cardinals righties, Rangers lefties, and the theme of it all, none of them break the bank. Very easy to double spend up pitching, play 5 Cardinals, play 5 Rangers, and ownership is not bad at all. So, yeah, I like Cardinals. I like the Rangers. It fits the build I'm trying to do again today. Yeah, shout out Victor Scott, too. No one plays them. Stolen base upside, the wraparound at the bottom. It is lefty-lefty, though. I don't love it nearly as much today than yesterday, but he did get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, Freeland gives up a 374 WOBA to righties. Herrera's got a 504 WOBA against lefties. So, I mean, that lines up pretty well as a pretty decent catcher play. But, I mean, I think the Rockies, as we move forward as a team, like we got to consider stacking against them if you're going to play a handful of teams almost every night. If they're not going to be, the other team is not going to be highly owned. Like, dude, we've seen the Rockies get absolutely destroyed. Like, how many times in the last 2 weeks given up? Like, shit, they gave up 20. Like the one night I remember, like, man, they've been just getting just absolutely nuked. So, like, it seems like it's pretty easy to get them to be throwing in one of their position players to start pitching. So, like, to me, it just seems like as we come down and wind down the season here, the Rockies already have mailed it in. So they're a team like, like the Cardinals would probably be in my player pool if I was playing maybe 10 teams or so. It wouldn't need to be that deep for me to have some Cardinal stacks just because the Rockies been that bad and not everybody's going to be piling against them. Every time the Rockies are at home, the other team's going to be chalk every damn night. So why not take shots on them when they're not at home? Because it's the same damn pitching staff that sucks balls. So I think we got to take a shot at it when we can, Title. I think tonight may be a good night.
All right. What about D-backs, Rangers, or the Rockies?
D-backs, Rangers. I think the Rockies are another team. I like the Rockies righties. I mean, they've been hitting pretty well. They're another team I look at when I want to stack up somebody. I think the Rangers are interesting too. I think I'd like some Rangers in my player pool. I have them ranked up a little higher. DeScalfini has just not been very good. He's just got, high walk rates. I mean, he starts giving up homers. There's probably going to be guys on base because he's just been letting up all kinds of, power to righties here in recent times. I think Garcia is interesting. Langford you could use. But, I don't mind some Rangers. I think the Rangers are interesting.
Yeah, I like the Rangers quite a bit. One of my again, I mentioned both Cardinals, Rangers in their pricing, but another team that can flip over the order, like Josh Jung in the 8 spot, Kyle Gashoka in the 9, Adolis got pop, Rowdy. Like, this is a lineup that can turn over 1 through 9, very much in play. Doesn't break the bank one bit. I mean, completely free. Leave off Jock Peterson. He might go like yard. He always, you can see the highest owned guy because he's min price. He allows a lot to work, but I like the idea of stacking the Rangers, leaving off Jock in the outfield and figuring the rest out. Second base, shortstop, third base, 1 through 3, the onesie positions. I like it a lot for sure. So, yeah, Rangers are up there as one of my favorites. I like picking on the Rockies too. And, yeah, if you're saying this is flipped, the Cardinals are on the road at Coors Field, these ownerships, I mean, night and day. Times them by 3 for every single one, if not more. And yeah, it makes sense. Coors Field produces more runs, bigger outfield, elevation, all that, etc. But it's still very solid hitting weather in St. Louis, so I like it.
And the D-backs are another team that got to feel like they got their dick stepped on because they traded all their players away. So, their bullpen, so Suarez, they had a fire sale. So that's just got to be tough even though Corbin Carroll's been hitting. I mean, that dude's a pimp. But top half of that lineup is good. But, man, you get the bottom 5 of that D-backs lineup, it just is not good at all. But Jock Peterson, man, I can't. That's like playing – he's the new Joey Gallo. And why does he always got to be on like a Texas? I'm calling Jock Peterson. He's like Joey Gallo. Either it's a home run or his ass strikes out. That's just the way he is.
And it's definitely usually the latter in the strikeout. All right, we got 4 games left, over 300 watching. Appreciate everyone. Hope everyone having a great day. All we ask, like button and subscribe button. Helped us out a ton, and I haven't showed this off yet, but I need to because this $349 NFL package is going up to $449 tomorrow. Not only do you get NFL with this, you get college football, which a lot of sites charge for. You get SaberSim, the best optimizer around. Cannot find any better deal in the industry. Again, this $349 goes up to $449 tomorrow. You also get 5 SHIPIT ballots to the SHIPIT games where we are giving out, as you can see, over $77,000 in cash and prizes. $50,000 is our own at SHIPIT Nation. SaberSim contributed $20,000 plus. Again, very, very excited to get those games launched. Week 1 of the NFL season. You can click this link. It brings you to shipitgames.com, and you can read everything about it. How do you get ballots, what they are, a chance to be one of the 50 for the golden SHIPIT tickets. Right now, first place, $20,000 and a year long ultimate pass, and those prizes can only go up as the SHIPIT games go on. So 5 ballots if you do sign up before tomorrow, and this early bird special, $349 goes up to $449. Again, SaberSim included, the best optimizer around, college football included, and if you sign up anytime before NFL season, you get all access to all these sports up here. PGA, we just had a show. Of course, MLB, big boy MMA slate this week. NASCAR, a lot of screenshots I saw this week. Shout out to the game and Eric, always grinding NASCAR. All right, let's group these next 2 games, the Astros, Red Sox, and the Angels, Dodgers together. We are looking at a 9 total for the Houston Astros and the Red Sox, a 10 total in Anaheim, the battle of the Dodgers and the Angels. Start with the Stros and the Red Sox. Are you picking on Arrighetti or May? Then take it to the Dodgers and the Angels. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't have the Red Sox and Stros stacks ranked up that high. I'd have 6, 7, 8 teams ahead of both of them. But the Dodgers now are my favorite stack of the day. I mean, they obviously have the highest team total, but the Dodgers are just in a great spot here. The Angels bullpen absolutely is just trash. This Medeiros guy isn't any better either. So, I mean, I like all the Dodgers up and down the lineup. They're probably just going to go off. I think, to me, the Dodgers are the hardest fade of the whole thing. I think the Dodgers is what I want. I'm just going to load up some Dodgers and sit back and just print some money tonight. I think that's the way it's going to be. I mean, to me, the Dodgers to me are the most important thing in the whole slate. I'm jamming Dodgers any which way I can. If I have 3 teams, I'll probably have Dodgers on all 3 teams and mix on FanDuel and mix in the other couple stacks and kind of mix in some pitching and see if I can get some higher end pitching and maybe go as low as I can to feel comfortable over there, maybe like a Baz or somebody if I want to get, a bigger bat or something. But I think the Dodgers are just in a overall great spot. That Angel bullpen is just horrible. I mean, so I'm just going to go after this horrible bullpen with one of the best teams on the slate that's sitting at almost a 6-team total. So I'm going to roll with some Dodgers here tonight. I just think they're in too good of a spot.
No Astros?
No, I don't have the Astros ranked up high enough today. I just, like I said, they're just outside my top of my rankings. I mean, last night, the Angels, you had to have some Angels last night if you wanted to win in some deep tournaments. I just don't think you'll get enough off of Sheehan tonight. But, I mean, hey, that Angel Stadium, too, gives up the most homers. I mean, it all lines up for me for the Dodgers tonight. Shitty bullpen, stadium giving up homers. I mean, we got a shitty starter. It's all there. So give me some Dodgers all the way around. All the other teams that I'm not interested in. I mean, I think if you wanted to jam some one-offs against maybe like a Dustin May or if you wanted to against an Arrighetti, you could maybe do so. But, I mean, Anthony has been really good with the Red Sox. But I don't know. I just don't love it. I don't love any of the part of that. But the Dodgers, I feel really strong about today. That's my team.
Yeah, I can't argue with the Dodgers any bit. If I play in the Dodgers, again, I think Sheehan is someone I'd give a little bump to. You already need to spend down pitching. You hope he maybe gets the win because your own team scores a lot of runs. I'm prioritizing more spend up pitching. I definitely want a good bit of the Dodgers, though. That's like what I want to see when I'm stacking the Dodgers. How do those teams look versus when I'm stacking the Tigers and what it might be? Angels, I mean, Zach Neto's been out of this world. If you want to look at him, Shawnell, really cheap at first base, gets the platoon advantage. I mean, Mike Trout at 4,500, you can never say no to. It's more just mini stacks, filling them in. They've been hitting the baseball. They're absolutely – no one's going to play them. And, again, you definitely needed Zach Neto yesterday. Red Sox, Astros, yeah, I mean, totals – kind of down. Arrighetti, he's someone I'm playing today just because his strikeout stuff is there. He can get hit hard a little bit. But look at all these hitter rankings. Even the prices in the middle of the order. I'm not going Red Sox. I'm not going to go Astros. I actually prefer Angels mini stacks over both the Astros and the Red Sox. But can't argue with anything you said about the Dodgers. Anything you want to say to this, though?
Mookie is Dookie. He is Dookie. Yes, man. I think he's something wrong with him. He's hurt or something. He's just hiding. I mean, he's done it for so many years. I mean, he's a stolen base threat. He's not been stealing any bags. Like, he's hurt. Like, he's just not even, he's a shell of himself. But it's sad for me to see. Mookie's definitely one of my favorite daily fantasy sport players. I just feel like every time I'm watching an app, go like, come on, Mookie, in play runs. It's like, boom, there's the blue dot. All right, Mookie. Like, Mookie's been my man. So, yeah, not so much like Bryce Harper. That sumbitch has cost me so much money over the years, every damn time. But if I had 20 teams, how many would I play Dodgers? Is that the question?
Yeah.
On DK, if I'm playing 20 teams, I probably have more than half, probably 12 or 13 of them would be Dodgers and mixed up in some form or fashion.
Wow, you're putting it on the table.
I would be heavy on the Dodgers today in this 12-man slate. I think the Dodgers, to me, feel like the team that can nuke. That Angel bullpen sucks, man. They just stink.
Yeah. There you go, Devin Davis. He's just having some strawberry Dr. Pepper. Throw some whiskey in there, you bet it's gas. There you go. Come back to us, Devin, and let us know how that is. All right, last game, Gyiraszin. Last two games, I should say. One of them, Cortez, Robbie Rail, 7.5 total. Not much interest in that one for me. The Rays and the A's, though, just like yesterday, one of the biggest totals, sitting at 9.5. Both run totals above 5 that we're showing. I'll let you take it away. I mean, Shane Baz is a solid K prop at 5.5. Lopez has a big arm, grades out well in our pitcher rankings. The Rays don't grade out very well in the hitter rankings. The A's do grade out pretty solid 2 through 5. Outside of that, though, not great. If you're stacking the top of the order for the A's, they're expensive, so that means you're not really playing the Dodgers as much. The Rays are my preferred side just because of the pricing. Looking at ownership, though, 3x the ownership on the Rays than the A's we have. And I'm fine with the Rays, but like the cheaper stacks, I prefer Royals, I prefer Cardinals, I prefer Tigers when we're talking cheap, but the Rays will definitely be in play for me. I hope their lineup comes out even later than yesterday. The later the lineup comes out, I think the more, especially when it's like Pereira at min price, people didn't expect them to be in the lineup. Some people might just have their teams, their single entry teams, whatever it may be. Don't wait for the last lineup. If that's the case, you get a little reduced ownership. I'll be looking for that and more inclined to play the Rays, especially in single entry stuff, the later the lineup comes out. How much do you like any of these 4 teams, though?
I mean, I think I like the A's better than the Rays. The Rays, to me, I respect Lopez enough to kind of be scared. The Rays just generally don't hit lefties that well either. But I think the A's are interesting. Shane Baz has not been very good here in recent times. Not good at all. He's been getting absolutely pummeled by righties lately. So, I mean, you look at a guy like Rooker, Langoliers. I mean, I know the top of this lineup here has got, of the top 6 bats, you're staring down 4 lefties, Butler, Kurtz, Soderstrom, and Bidet. I mean, Kurtz has got a 493 WOBA. We know that big boy can hit some bombs, Soderstrom. But I think if you add in the fact that how bad he's been against righties, and add in some of the lefty power that they got, I think the A's are definitely interesting here in this spot. We know the park is a park we like to chase. I mean, if we're calling anything else Coors Field, 2.0, it's this stadium here, which we've been talking about all year. So, we're kind of looking for some upside. I think we got the upside in the later games here out in the West Coast here today, which, hasn't been as much the case here in recent times, but yeah, I like these later games. I think this A's line is definitely interesting too. I put them in my top 5 too, along with the Dodgers, the Yankees, I think the Cubs. I think I'd probably have the Cubs and the A's probably pretty close to each other, but Dodgers and Yankees are up there. Dodgers being by far my favorite, but I think the A's are definitely interesting. Especially how bad Baz has been lately. He's been really bad lately.
Yeah, no, he definitely has been. He has a big arm, but he's been bad. He can get hit hard. The A's are going to be definitely pretty low owned because when people do spend up, they're going to want to go to the Dodgers. And this 1 through 4, 1 through 5 is pretty expensive. The problem with the A's too is like outfield. The main bats I want are in the outfield. If you wrap it around, you're playing like Hernaiz, Luis Urias, Gio Urshela, these dudes that I do not want to play. So it feels like when people play the A's, they play the same exact bats, and it leads you to the same roster construction and pitching. With that being said, there's still a lot of different options up top, and there's no like chalk person that they're going to go down low. So at the A's ownership, I don't worry about it, but it's just something to note. Whereas when you play the Dodgers, like people are not worried to go to the bottom of the order. When people go to the Yankees, like I prefer the Yankees too. I'm fine playing Goldie, McMahon, any of them just as much as I'm playing Bellinger and Rice and all of that. So this feels more condensed of a lineup when people stack it, but the ownership is a lot lower. They're the pivot of the pivot of the pivot, similar to the Cubs. So I like Ray's side more just because I'm team spend up at pitching more so today, and I want cheap offenses. And you talked me into enough. I like the Dodgers a ton already. They're my favorite. But you went overboard where if I am spending up at bats, I think it's really just Dodgers, Yankees, and that's how I want to get those. Like when I mix in bottom pitching, it's because I'm spending up for the Dodgers or the Yankees. But yeah, mainly the Royals, the Tigers, the Cards. Yeah, even the Rays a little bit. I like spend up pitching. Hopefully it doesn't burn me like it did yesterday. And that is this is for the whole NFL season. So it takes you all the way to the Super Bowl. Is that $349? The best deal is always annual. If you know you're going to be around the whole time during the summers for baseball, for golf, etc. But no, definitely not per month. That'd be I know some people, some sites
should be per week.
That's a little crazy per week. I'm not going to go that far. Gyiraszin, any final thoughts?
Hey, I like safety meetings. We're going to have to bump it up a little bit. I'm going to have to call up Hoop and Tambo. I see Tambo's building those, safety garages in his back of his house. And, Hoop's lawn looks like a damn football field. Like, Tidal and I are going to have to start calling up the boss. Be like, hey, boss, you're going to have to start hooking us up. Me and Tidal need new ceiling fans. Ours are dusty.
Yeah, there you go. Ours are a little dusty. Throw that back to the NFL season. That's good. Any final thoughts before we get on out of here, Gyiraszin?
Man, always fun to talk some baseball. Gonna get over there, do some slate playing. I think, tonight's a decent slate. We don't have the masses going in too many places, but I think Dodgers for me, or I'm gonna be overweight on the Dodgers. I'm gonna have 3 teams over there on FanDuel. And the only decision I was trying to make, they got a big 333 tournament on FanDuel with 1,000 people, and it's 100K up on top. I was thinking, do I feel like I'm, pissing in the wind with only 1 or 2 shots at it, maybe 3, but, hey, might see how I feel building out my Dodger teams. I might just throw in a couple of them over there and see what ends up happening. But, but that's $100 single enter tonight's getting a face full of Dodgers. I can tell you that. But should be a good time.
Should be a good time indeed. Go Dodgers for Gyiraszin. Go spend up pitching over here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Again, all we ask, like button, subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. If you want to join us at the Nation, SHIPITNation.com. Again, you can see the early bird special. This is going up tomorrow to $4.49. The 5 ballots also get taken away. SHIPITGames.com. You can click this link if you want to read everything. Again, Tambo, Hoop explained it. I would check it out on the launch show. This breaks it all down in writing, though. Join the Nation if you want to check out the other packages. That'll do it for us. Nades and Gyiraszin will be back tomorrow. Good luck, everybody, on this fine 12-game slate. Last thing, make sure to double-check on the weather on Ross' update for the Tigers and the White Sox game. That'll do it for Gyiraszin. I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody. Stay safe. Peace.